Imagine you meet someone quiet, analytical, well-spoken. They like books, they dress simply. Your brain instantly fills in the blanks. They must be intelligent, they must work in something academic, they must be trustworthy. No data, no evidence, just a feeling. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how the mind uses stereotypes to judge probability, why this shortcut feels so convincing, and how it silently shapes decisions in money, relationships, leadership, and power. The brain hates uncertainty. It evolved to make fast judgments because in the past, speed meant survival. One of the most influential shortcuts it uses is called the Representative Heuristic, a concept developed by psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. It works like this. If something resembles a category, we assume it belongs to that category. We don't ask, how likely is this statistically? We ask, does this look right? So here's the classic example. You're told about a man named Tom. He's quiet, he enjoys reading, he prefers structure and routine. Most people instantly think librarian, but statistically there are far more engineers, teachers, managers, and salespeople than librarians. The rational answer should come from the largest group, yet the brain ignores base rates and actual probabilities and chooses what feels representative. Similarity overrides statistics. A confident speaker is assumed to be competent, even if they're wrong. A well-dressed person is assumed to be successful, even if they're broke. A nervous speaker is assumed to be unprepared, even if they're highly skilled. We confuse surface traits with underlying reality. This heuristic persists because pattern recognition is faster than analysis. Stories and images are easier than numbers. The brain prefers coherence over accuracy. Statistics are abstract. Stereotypes are concrete. So the mind chooses what's easy, not what's true. This bias doesn't stay in theory. It leaks into everything. People and stereotypes, we judge intelligence, honesty, and danger based on accent, clothing, body language, confidence. Someone who looks like a leader is treated like one. Someone who doesn't is overlooked regardless of ability. What about hiring and careers? Employers assume extroverts are leaders, quiet people are less capable, elite background is higher competence. Skill is replaced by resemblance to a successful archetype. What about in investing and business? Investors back startups that resemble past winners, the charismatic founder, the tech buzzwords, the familiar success story. Meanwhile, they ignore base rates. Most startups fail, even the ones that look promising. What about in media and risk? People fear plane crashes, terror attacks, rare violent crimes, but they underestimate car accidents, heart disease, chronic stress. Why? Because dramatic events feel representative of danger, even when they are statistically rare. What about in law and justice? Jurors may unconsciously ask, does this person look like someone who would do this? Not, what does the evidence actually prove? Appearance becomes probability. The representative heuristic doesn't just distort probability. It creates false certainty, overconfidence, and reinforced bias. It makes us feel right even when we're wrong. And the more confident we are, the less likely we are to question ourselves. High-status individuals are often assumed to be smarter, more capable, more correct, but not because of evidence, but because they fit the image of authority. Titles, confidence, clothing, and visibility become substitutes for truth. This is why bad ideas spread when voiced by the right person. Expertise is ignored when it comes from the wrong one. Power reinforces itself. The heuristic protects hierarchy. So how can we counter it? Well, you can't remove this bias, but you can weaken it. Slow the moment down. What are the base rates? How common is this outcome really? Am I reacting to similarity or evidence? Would I think this if the person looked or sounded different? Awareness breaks the spell. This representativeness heuristic reveals an uncomfortable truth. The mind doesn't seek accuracy, it seeks familiarity. It wants the story to make sense, even if the story is wrong. Understanding this isn't about moral judgment, it's about intellectual humility. Because the most dangerous stereotypes aren't the loud ones in society, they're the quiet ones operating in our own thinking. The next time something feels obvious, pause and ask yourself, is this actually likely or just familiar? Because resemblance is not reality, and intuition is not evidence. Remember to follow, like, subscribe if you enjoyed this episode, and just a quick shout out to our sponsors. Strong Coffee Company, protein-packed coffee for energy and clarity. Use code Vancrux1 for 20% off at strongcoffeecompany.com. And then there's More Labs, clinically proven hydration and recovery drinks. Use code Vancrux1 for 25% off at morelabs.com. And finally, Liquor Gummies, electrolytes and vitamins for hangover prevention. Use code Vancrux1 for 20% off at liquor.com. That's liquure.com.